Manufacturers don't put this in their catalogs, but the woodworkers who've been in the game longest already know it. Some of the cheapest labels on the shelf at your local hardware store are quietly outperforming brands twice their price. Not every budget name is junk, and not every prosumer logo justifies its markup. Today, we're counting down 4 woodworking tool brands that hobbyists and even working professionals routinely dismiss on site. And the shop data, forum threads, and long-term owner reports tell a very different story. 4 brands, most of them written off before they're even tried, ending with the one that quietly built an entire cabinet shop's worth of equipment for half of what the premium names charge. Stick around for number 1. It's the brand that changes what you'll actually put in your cart next time you're shopping for shop machinery. This ranking is built from real owner reports pulled from woodworking communities like Sawmill Creek, Lumberjocks, and Woodworking Talk, cross-checked against retailer review data from Home Depot, Walmart, and eBay, plus a Trustpilot review base for direct-to-consumer buyers. No number here is a guess. Every failure rate, price point, and satisfaction figure comes from actual threads and listings, paraphrased and verified, rather than pulled from a marketing sheet. Number 4, Power Tech. And this one is the most divisive name on the entire list, which is exactly why it's here. PowerTech built its reputation as an OEM manufacturer, quietly producing accessories and replacement parts for bigger brands before selling under its own label. And that split identity shows up directly in owner experience. On one end, a Trustpilot reviewer flatly called their overall product line complete garbage outside of one category, hose clamps and dust collection fittings, which the same reviewer singled out as genuinely solid. On the other end, woodworkers on Lumberjocks who bought PowerTech replacement planer knives, running roughly $20 for a set, reported they held an edge no worse than the factory craftsman blades they replaced, just needing a resharpening sooner than premium carbide. The consequence in the shop is real. Buy the wrong PowerTech product line and you're back at the store within a season. Buy the right one? Sanding discs, featherboards, push sticks, safety accessories, and you're getting Home Depot and Walmart listings sitting at 4.7 to 5.0 stars with dozens of verified purchases behind them. A Sawmill Creek thread on their sanding discs noted the brand's own listings don't even disclose country of manufacture, which is enough to make cautious buyers walk away before testing the product at all. A mistake, according to multiple long-term users, when it comes to their safety accessories specifically. The Angulo Humano here is the budget-conscious weekend hobbyist stocking a first shop. Featherboards and push blocks that would cost $60, $80 from a premium brand run closer to $35, $40 from PowerTech, with review scores that hold up. The professional shop, understandably, skips the gamble entirely and buys elsewhere for consumables that need to survive daily use. But the next name on this list is a full power tool manufacturer that a lot of serious woodworkers still quietly underestimate. And the gap between reputation and reality is even bigger. Number 3, Win, a company that's been building tools since 1951 and somehow still gets treated like a brand new import knockoff. The clearest verdict comes straight from a longtime buyer on Woodworking Talk, who put it in blunt, practical terms. When tools aren't in the same league as top-tier names like Blue Point or Starrett, but they land a notch below Craftsman and roughly on par with Lowe's house brand Cobalt line, which, for the price difference, is a genuinely strong result. That same thread flagged the one real risk factor, because WN sources some products from multiple manufacturers rather than building everything in-house. Long-term parts availability and customer support can vary more than with a single factory brand. In the shop, that translates to a specific trade-off. A Win benchtop belt-to-disc sander, priced well under $150, was described by one forum poster as mechanically identical to Sanders, sold under other pricier labels. Same casting, same motor, different plastic color and nameplate. Multiple owner reviews of Win's rotary tools and detail sanders, priced under $30 or $40, reported years of use for hobby-level tasks like knife handle shaping and detail sanding without failure. The catch is longevity under heavy daily load. Win is explicitly positioned by its own long-term users as a hobbyist and weekend shop tool, not something meant to survive 8-hour production days 5 days a week. The person this brand serves best is the garage hobbyist, building a first real shop on a tight budget, not the professional cabinet maker billing hours against downtime. That's the entire calculation with WN, reliable enough that owners keep buying more of it once they've tested one tool, but bought with eyes open about what notch below Craftsman really means for daily use durability. But the next entry on this list isn't a tool brand at all. It's a component that professionals actually do trust, and the surprise is how little it costs to get that trust. Number 2, Diablo, Freud's value tier blade line, and the one entry on this list that professional shops actually use, without hesitation, which makes its cheap reputation almost backwards. Owner reviews across Home Depot, Walmart, and eBay listings consistently sit between 4.7 and 5.0 stars across thousands of verified ratings, an unusually tight cluster for a product line spanning dozens of SKUs and price points from roughly $19 for a small trim blade up to $85 for a 100-tooth fine finish blade. One long-term owner on a deal tracking forum reported running the same Diablo 10-inch 50-tooth combination blade as their primary table saw blade for over 5 years of regular use, a lifespan most budget blades don't come close to. The technical numbers back up the anecdotes. Diablo's Tico high-density carbide formulation and axial shear face grind tooth geometry are specifically engineered to resist the heat buildup that dulls cheaper blades within a handful of cuts. And multiple reviewers reported clean crosscuts on hardwood with minimal tear-out along the grain. The exact failure point where bargain blades usually show splintering first. One reviewer even described accidentally running the blade through a metal roller stand mid-cut, expecting to ruin it, only to find the edge still usable afterward. A stress test. Most blades in this price bracket simply don't survive. The people this affects most directly are anyone doing fine furniture joinery or cabinet face framework, where a burned or tear-out prone cut means resanding or worse, scrapping an expensive board. Because Diablo is manufactured under Freud, a name professional shops already respect, buyers get premium blade engineering wearing a bargain bin price tag, which is precisely why it gets overlooked by anyone judging blade quality by sticker price alone. And the next brand on this list takes that exact same underestimated because it's affordable story and applies it to an entire cabinet shop's worth of stationary machinery. Number 1, Grizzly Industrial. And this is the brand that most directly proves the whole thesis of this list wrong. Cheap and unreliable are not the same word. Founded in 1983 out of Bellingham, Washington, Grizzly spent its first couple of decades fighting a reputation problem. Longtime members of Sawmill Creek openly admit that 30 years ago, the brand carried what one poster called a little bit of a suspect reputation. But that same thread echoed across NC Woodworker and the Garage Journal forums now describes Grizzly as one of the more quality and reliable names a woodworker can buy, with multiple posters saying their next jointer or bandsaw purchase would be a Grizzly without hesitation. The hard evidence sits in decades-long ownership reports. One Garage Journal poster described a Grizzly 17-inch floor drill press and 10-inch contractor table saw bought around 1986 that had drilled tens of thousands of holes through wood, aluminum, and steel, still running on its original motor and belts nearly 40 years later, with only the chuck ever replaced. Multiple posters across 3 separate forums independently praised Grizzly's parts availability and customer service as equal to or better than premium competitors, a detail that matters enormously when a $2,000 cabinet saw goes down mid-project and a shop is losing billable hours every day. It sits broken. The price gap is the real story. Forum consensus repeatedly frames Grizzly against names like Powermatic and SawStop, using the same comparison. Not as fancy, but running roughly half the price for equipment that holds comparable tolerances on non-critical tolerance work like edge sanding, jointing, and resawing. One detail almost nobody outside dedicated forums knows: Grizzly and the retail brand Shop Fox come out of the same manufacturing relationship, just with different paint and nameplates. The exact same identical tool, different badge pattern that shows up with WN, except here it's applied to full stationary machinery, costing thousands of dollars instead of a $30 rotary tool. For any hobbyist or small shop owner deciding between financing a name brand cabinet saw or buying Grizzly and pocketing the difference, the forum data across multiple independent communities points the same direction. Buy Grizzly and use the savings on the rest of the shop. The real lesson across all 4 of these brands isn't about logos or price tags. It's that reputation in woodworking almost always lags a decade behind actual product quality in both directions. A brand can coast on an old bad review for 30 years, and a premium name can rest on its badge while a cheaper one closes the gap in the shop where it actually counts. Judge the tool on what it does after 5 years of daily use, not on what the sticker costs on day 1. So which one of these is already sitting in your shop right now? And did it earn that spot, or did you buy it just because of the name on the box? Drop it in the comments, because the next video might be built entirely from what you tell us here.